Hi everybody, it's Chris and
Henry. We have an unbelievably special guest in the house tonight, and it's Martin Gilchrist.
Thank you very much, Henry. That's
Martin,
quite an introduction.
Oh, quite a good, yeah. This is something I've been looking forward to now for a number of weeks because I've seen Martin out on social media, and I've really grown to like the guy. And this is the first day I've actually can touch the physical presence or the muscles of Martin Gilchrist. I want to just delve in straight away and want to talk about accountancy. And I know that accountants have, let's say, not a fantastic reputation. When somebody says about an accountant, as Martin says, sometimes their shoulders go down. But I really believe, and I'm experiencing, Martin is a wee bit different from the normal accountancy practice. Martin, take the camera and let people know what is different about the accountancy practice of Martin Gilchrist.
Well, our practice is specifically designed for working with professionals in independent practice.
Okay.
And the reason we do that is, the reason we chose to work with professionals in independent practice, and when I say we, I mean myself and my wife Michelle, we wanted to work with people that were just like us. People that were going out into the world and offering a professional service to others, fee charging professionals, because we felt we would understand those people. We felt if we were like them and they were like us, we would get each other and we'd be able to offer a better service. So in essence, what Gilchrist & Co. does, we offer a core accounting services, the core services that people need to run their business. But in essence, what we want to be, we want to be on your side. Okay. Because when you're in small business, very quickly what you come up against on a regular basis is the big corporate world and faceless corporate officers, whether that be with HMRC or with the banks or with the rates people. You come up against problems with people where you're just a number. You're just a problem. You're just a thing that they have to handle. And you know what, as much as they may be good at their job, they're not going to care about you. How can they if they don't know who you are? What we want to do is to be the people that care. We know who you are. We know your background. We know your family, we know your business. We're involved with you, we enjoy your company, we're on your side. That's what Gilchrist & Co. is about.
Wow, that's really cool, actually, because we've worked with a lot of accountants over the years, and hearing that kind of approach is really different compared to what I would normally hear an accountant say. So, like, when you introduce yourself to people and you say what you do for a living, are they receptive of who you are as a professional?
Now, it depends if the person knows me or not.
Yeah.
So, I'm lucky. I've been about a while.
Okay.
You know, the practice is 11 years old. I have been working in accountancy since I was 17. And over that period of time, you build around, I've heard you talking about this, the importance of network.
Yeah.
And I've been very unfortunate over those many, many years of being involved in this business environment that I've been able to develop a fantastic network.
Great.
Now, a fantastic network doesn't mean clients.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean suppliers. It means people like you and you and me who are interested in the subject that I'm interested in, small business.
Okay.
And once you've built a network like that, when I go out to a networking event, you know, in Belfast, I tend not to travel very much further than that now. I don't really need to anymore. When I go out to a networking event in Belfast and I walk into a room and there's 30, 80, 100 people in the room, I'm going to know someone.
Yeah.
I'm going to know a friendly face. And what I do is I go over to the friendly face, I stick out my hand, I say hello, what about you, good to see you again, and I bet you know someone else there.
Of course,
and you will introduce me. So you don't get that cold, who are you sort of thing, you're being introduced, a warm introduction. And then by the time they hear you're an accountant, that thing where they go, so if you're a stranger, you walk up and you have a conversation, everybody's giggling, you're having a wee laugh, you're having a good time. What do? I'm an accountant, the shoulders go down. And then they go, because they'll catch themselves on. Oh, that's all right. You know, that's fine.
It's okay to be an accountant.
Yeah, it's okay to be an accountant. So, fortunately, I don't get that anymore because I'm now embedded in this environment. It seems to work very well.
Very good. Martin, we've been doing this now a while, you know, marketing and networking, and we, like yourself, we believe in building a network that builds a business. But what is the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you in business?
Do you know what? I've done plenty of embarrassing things. What I'm going to do is it's about picking the most out of a lot of embarrassing things. It's always going to be difficult. But I always like to have evidence. If somebody comes to me and says something, states something, I always go, how do you know?
Yeah.
I'm always curious. Where did you hear that? How do you know? So I want to have, if I'm going to say the most embarrassing thing, I want to have some evidence for it. So I did a very embarrassing thing recently. Anybody that's seen my face before will know I've been doing a little bit of this Facebook live stuff, live broadcast. And there's a great young man called Connor Houston. And Connor is involved in peace work, and he does consultancy in relation to Brexit, and he does stuff with KPMG, and he's doing all this great stuff.
Very good.
He was holding a youth event up in North Belfast.
Okay.
And he got in contact with me and he says, Martin, would you mind sharing this out? We could do it with a few more bums on seats. Do you mind putting it on your social media profile?
Very good.
God, I was flattered.
Yeah.
You know, imagine this great guy coming and saying, do you mind? All he was saying, stick it up on Facebook and let people know. So I thought to myself, I said, Connor, I tell you what, I've got a better idea than that. Let's go live.
Yeah.
Let's go live, and what we'll do, I know all about this technology, and what we can do, I can bring you in, and you'll be like a wee head, and we can talk to each other, and you can be where you are, and I'll be where I am. We can do the whole thing remotely. And if we do it live, we'll get like 500 views rather than 50 views. So we did a wee practice before, and the practice seemed to work, and then 8 o'clock, we'd set it up as an event, and 8 o'clock came, I was on my phone with big fat fingers pushing around, but couldn't get Connor on.
Okay.
But because I'd set it up as an event, you could see all the people were sitting.
Already.
So the thing was live, and they could see me live, my face getting redder and redder, and me pressing, and I can't get Connor.
Can we link to this in the description?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
Links in.
the worst bit of all, because I was trying to do it on my phone, I couldn't see it the way people would actually see it on their iPads or phones or on their computers. And instead of sitting with my head like that, my head was coming into the screen sideways. I turned up the phone wrong. So it's this panic, red face. The wheels were coming off.
You'll have to make that a GIF.
And beforehand, I was saying, what's the worst that could happen? Absolutely, the worst that could happen happened. So that was pretty embarrassing. But I left it up. And the reason I left it in my feed is I think it's important that, you know, we're human and we're not infallible.
We can't do everything perfect.
I can't do everything perfectly. It was the first time I tried that. I'll not make that mistake again. Obviously, I'm not going to have a series of stupid
red faces,
red faces and sideways and all that kind of stuff. But what I think it is, it's okay to show people that you're infallible. It's okay to show people that you're not perfect, because then they get a sense of the person you are. So it was very embarrassing. But at the same time, I thought to myself, you know, if I give somebody a wee laugh, and
that's it.
And we still got the message out.
Well, that's the
thing. We still told the story that the event was on, and it was for young people, and turn up and
just 25 minutes late.
Well, it was on time. We were on. It went live on time. It just wasn't with Connor, and that's the professional Martin Gilchrist.
Good. No, that's a nice approach, actually. It's nice to hear people doing that, because I think we were just away from an event in Dublin yesterday, and we were just sharing about the importance of actually being transparent and letting people see the warts and seeing your family behind things, or seeing the way you do life in behind the scenes, because people buy people, and people want to actually buy from you as a person, and not just the perfect version of Martin. They want to actually buy the outdoors man, the guy who makes awful mistakes online. So things like that, and it's nice to hear that, because that's actually the thing that will actually let you get in front of the right people, then the people who want to buy Martin.
Yeah, and more importantly, I want the people that like that, or that appreciate that coming towards me, because people are different. You know, some people are very serious, some people are super professional, some people are more lighthearted. And really, I want to work with the people that get that thing where we're all just out here fighting a good fight. You know, we're all fighting on battles. Some of the times we get it right, some of the times we get it wrong. You know, nobody's perfect, but we're trying our best. We're all good people at the end of the day.
That's right.
And I want those type of people to come towards me. If you're not, if that's not your thing, and you see that on social media, or you see that in these broadcasts that I do, that's fine. It saves your time, it saves my time, and it means that the wrong people aren't coming towards us. So, and it seems to work.
Very good, very good. Well, I'm really, really blessed that you actually left it up, because I think it says a lot about you, your humility, your integrity, and your ability just to communicate, albeit you can laugh at yourself as well. But Martin, can I ask you this? You've been in business, what's the practices?
11 years.
You've been in accountancy how many years?
About 23.
About 23. Looking back, I know you've got a son called Martin.
Martin James,
Yeah, Martin James, who is also
wanted
to do accountancy as well. But what would Martin today say or give advice to a 20-year-old Martin starting out? What would you say to yourself?
The first thing is you have to put the work in. there's no shortcut. If you want to be a professional, if you want to be a good professional, whether it's an accountant or anybody else, your 20s are a gift. You know, there's so many exciting things happen in those years, and there's so many exciting things that you can do with your life, and that's great. Absolutely, do the travel, do the partying, do all the good stuff, but cut out enough time to do the really hard work, because it's a really hard work that you do in the 20s that build you up for everything else.
Definitely.
And sometimes it seems like a real struggle, but the thing is, when you're 20, you have the energy and you have the lack of cynicism, and you've got you're effectively a clean plate. You know, you're coming out into the world as a fresh person. It's not, you don't have all these
scars.
Yes, exactly. And you want to make the absolute most of that enthusiasm and energy and health and everything else you have in your 20s to build the platform for your 30s, and then when you get old to be like your 40s, what you can do is you can then relax into that. Whereas you don't want to be getting to a later stage in your life, and I've enjoyed the first 10 or 15 years where you're just partying and all the rest, and all of a sudden going, oh no, I've got a family, and I've got a house and I've got a mortgage, and I can't invest the time and what I need to do the studies or to build a business. There's so many people I know now that are in good jobs, but they want to be self-employed.
Yeah.
They want to be masters of their own destiny. They want to be creating something for themselves and for their families and for their communities. They know they've got the capability to do it, but they didn't do the groundwork and the lead work when they were in their 20s, and now they're sort of trapped. So, number one, cut out the time for hard work, because this is the time. That's the time to do it.
That's great. Well, on the back of that, then, what would be your worst piece of advice you could give to anyone that's kind of starting out?
To worry about what other people are saying. You know, yes, take advice. Yes, find a mentor or mentors and listen to what they have to say. But at the end of the day, you're the only you.
Awesome. Good.
You're the only person that's in your skin, that's lived your life, that has your experience, that has your dreams, and that wants to do what you want to do. So what you need to do is get out there, get as much advice as possible and as much learning from other people as possible, and then take that with a pinch of salt. And if there's a little bit that doesn't sit, throw that away.
That's good.
Because you have to make your own destiny. The people who make it by themselves. Nobody else is going to build your life for you. You have to build that life.
It's good.
That's very good.
Yep.
I think what I've really picked up, and I'm sure Chris is the same, is that I know you had said there, I got the impression you were in your 40s, but I really am getting the impression life is only really beginning. I'm a believer of a business should give you two attributes: money, but also needs to give you time.
Yeah.
I know a lot of guys out there who are in business have a lot of money, but they've absolutely no time. So, but I really feel, I'm getting the impression that your best chapters are ahead, your best years are ahead, and I really believe that, because I think you're now becoming not just a great accountant and a great accountancy practice, but you're becoming an influencer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And mentorship comes into that, advice comes into that. And I know it's awkward to give advice from an accountancy point of view, but as Martin's already said, build mentors, people who have been there, done it, and I'm getting certainly the feel today is that there's so much more to you than the accountant or the cloak of the accountant. And can I ask you this, is that where do you see Martin Gilchrist, say not so much the practice, but Martin Gilchrist, the entrepreneur, the mentor, where do you see yourself approaching the big 5-0?
I'm fortunate, very, very fortunate. It's not down to my own genius or any, apart from the hard work I've put in, but I don't think I'm anything special, but I've been fortunate to find myself in a position now where Michelle and I are quite comfortable. You know, we're not only comfortable in our skins, but we're in a situation where, you know, money isn't really a worry anymore, and we live in a nice place and we have a nice life. Great. So I've reached that milestone. I'm not a millionaire, and I never will be, and I don't care. You know, I don't care that I'll never be a millionaire. But what I do care about is what the people that I care about, my friends, my family, my mum, my dad, my son, what they feel and how I make them feel.
That's good.
That's important to me. So if my 16-year-old son came to me when I was 50 and he said, "Dad, what have you done with your life?"
Yeah, you want it to be significant. You want
I want it to be
more than just a
something.
job. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't have to be Bill Gates
Mhm.
or Theresa May or that sort of thing, but I want to be able to say something where my son can go, that's an example for me to follow. That's if my son's talking to me about me and I'm not in the room, I want him to feel as proud of me as I am of him, because I'm very proud of my son. He's a hard worker, he's doing well, and he's a credit to Michelle and I. We're very proud. But I want him to feel the same about us. But as a father figure, you have to do a little bit more. It's not enough just to practice and stuff. And I suppose if you asked what I want to do to maybe change the world, I'm not looking to change the world. I just want to change a little bit of the world that I can actually see and touch.
That's right.
You know, in my environment, there's so much goes on in the world that I know nothing about. I want to make a difference that makes a difference.
Yeah, that's
to
what
you
you're responsible for. Yeah.
and to you, and that simply to me, I suppose. And I have thought about this. Like, it's not that I'm just making this up now as we're sitting here talking. One of my passions, and this is an absolute passion for me, is people who start businesses from scratch. You know, people who have the guts to take an idea that's in their own head and create from something that supports themselves, their families, and their communities.
Exciting.
And the reason I'm passionate about those people is they are so rare.
Yeah.
I think when you're working in a business environment, you forget that it's only like 10% of the whole population that really go into any form of self-employment. And of that, only 5% survive past 5 years in the business they originally started. And of that, how many are actually being successful? And those people are being successful. It's not given to them. There you go. There's a successful business. And even if you work for it, doesn't mean to say you get paid. You could be unlucky. You could have a big contract, you get it finished, and the guy you're working for goes down, and he could pull you down with him. It's not a fair environment. And the question and the person I'm looking for, the organizer I'm looking